Hook a 0 o'clock bad day at work. Your boss yelled at you for something that wasn't your fault. Or a client changed the deadline. Or you got that email, the one that made your stomach drop. You get home. You throw your bag on the floor. You're exhausted. You're not hungry. But you walk to the kitchen anyway. You open the fridge. Cold pizza from 2 nights ago. You take a slice. You don't even want it. But you eat it standing up. Then the cupboard. Chips. You eat a handful. Then another. Then the freezer. Ice cream. You take the tub and a spoon. You sit on the couch. You eat without tasting. 20 minutes later, the tub is half empty. There are crumbs on your shirt. And you feel sick. Not just from the food. From shame. Why did I do that? I wasn't even hungry. My name is Mike. This is Mike Feeds, a food psychology they don't teach you. And today, we're talking about the strongest driver of overeating. Stronger than boredom. Stronger than habit. Stronger than the 11 p.m. fridge. Stress. Because stress doesn't just make you eat. Stress hijacks your brain. It turns off your willpower like flipping a switch. It makes you crave things you don't even want. And if you don't understand how it works, it will keep happening. Again and again. For years. Let me show you what's actually happening inside your head. Part 1. The cortisol hijack. 1:30. When you're stressed, your body releases a hormone called cortisol. Cortisol's job is to prepare you for danger. Thousands of years ago, that danger was a lion, or a famine, or a rival tribe. Your body needed energy fast. You needed to fight or run. So cortisol tells your brain, get fuel. Now, sugar, fat, calories. We don't know when we'll eat again. Here's the problem. Your body doesn't know the difference between a lion and an angry email, between a famine and a deadline, between survival and traffic. Every time you're stressed, your brain hears the same ancient alarm, danger. Eat. Now. And here's what most people don't realize. Cortisol doesn't just make you hungry. It makes you crave specific things. Sugar, fat, salt, processed food. Because those are the fastest sources of energy. Your brain doesn't want an apple when you're stressed. An apple takes too long to digest. Your brain wants a donut. It wants ice cream. It wants chips. This is not weakness. This is biology. This is 50,000 years of evolution screaming at you to survive. But your survival instinct doesn't know that you're not actually dying. It just knows, cortisol up, eat junk. Let me give you a number. Researchers at UC San Francisco followed 200 people for a year. Those with high stress levels ate 40% more processed food than the low stress group. Not because they were hungrier, because their cortisol was higher. 40%. That's almost half of your junk food intake, controlled by a hormone you didn't even know was driving the bus. Part 2. The stress-binge-guilt cycle at 3:30. But here's where it gets evil. Stress makes you binge. Then you feel guilty about binging. Guilt is also stress. So now you're more stressed. So you binge again. This is the stress-binge-guilt cycle. Let me draw it for you. Step 1. Something stressful happens. Work, money, relationship, cortisol spikes. Step 2. You eat. Not because you're hungry, because your brain is panicking. Step 3. You feel guilty. Why did I eat that? I have no control. I'm so weak. Step 4. Guilt raises cortisol even higher. Now you're more stressed than before you ate. Step 5. You eat again to soothe the new stress. The cycle feeds itself. More stress, more guilt, more food, more weight. And the cruelest part, the foods you crave when you're stressed are designed to make you crave more. Sugar gives you a fast dopamine spike, then a crash. The crash feels like more stress, so you eat more sugar. Fat gives you slow energy, but it also dulls your stress response temporarily. Then it wears off, and the stress comes back harder. You're not failing. You're caught in a biological loop that was designed to help you survive famines. But now it's helping you survive your inbox. Let me tell you about Rachel. Part 3. Rachel's story. A 5:30. Rachel is 34. She's a nurse. 12-hour shifts. Sick patients. Angry families. No breaks. No time to eat properly. She told me, Mike, I eat healthy all day at work. Salad for lunch. Nuts for snack. I drink my water. I do everything right. But when I get home, I lose control. I stand in front of the pantry and eat whatever I see. I can't stop. I feel like a failure. We tracked her stress binges for 2 weeks. Every time she had a hard shift, which was almost every shift, she came home and ate 600 to 800 extra calories. Chips, chocolate, ice cream, sometimes bread with butter, sometimes spoonfuls of peanut butter, 5 times a week. Let's do the math. 600 calories per stress binge times 5 times per week equals 3,000 extra calories per week. Over a month, 12,000 extra calories. Over a year, 156,000 extra calories. Divide that by 7,700 calories in a kilogram of body fat. That's 20 kilograms of potential fat gain per year from stress alone. Rachel wasn't weak. She wasn't broken. She was exhausted. Her cortisol was through the roof. Her body was screaming for fuel because it thought she was fighting a war every single day. The problem wasn't her diet. The problem was her stress. And we didn't fix it with more willpower. Part 4. Why willpower doesn't work. 7:30. Here's the hard truth. You cannot out-willpower your biology. Willpower is a limited resource. It lives in your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain. When you're calm, rested, and fed, your prefrontal cortex is in charge. But when you're stressed, cortisol floods your brain. It literally shuts down the prefrontal cortex. The rational part goes offline. And another part wakes up. The amygdala, the fear center, the ancient lizard brain that cares about one thing, survival. The amygdala doesn't care about your diet. It doesn't care about your goals. It doesn't care that you promised yourself you'd eat healthy this week. The amygdala cares about one thing: are we safe? Do we have energy? Eat. Now, this is why telling yourself just stop doesn't work when you're stressed. The part of your brain that says stop is offline. You're trying to reason with a part of your brain that doesn't speak reason. It speaks fear, and hunger, and survival. So what do you actually do? Not try harder. You've tried that. Here's what works. Part 5. The 5-minute stress reset. 9 o'clock rule 1. The 5-minute stress reset. When you come home stressed out, before you open the fridge, take 5 minutes. Not to be strong. Not to fight the urge. Just to breathe. Sit down. Close your eyes. Breathe in for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Breathe out for 4. Do this for 5 minutes. That's it. No food. No willpower. Just breathing. Why does this work? Because deep breathing lowers cortisol. Within 5 minutes, your stress hormone drops by 20 to 30%. The urge to binge drops with it. You're not fighting the craving. You're lowering the fire. Let me show you the math on this too. A study from Stanford University found that people who did 5 minutes of deep breathing before eating during stress ate 40% less than those who didn't. Not because they tried harder, because their cortisol was lower. 5 minutes of breathing saved them hundreds of calories per stress episode. Part 6. Separate stress from hunger. 10:30 rule 2. Separate stress from hunger. Stand in front of the fridge. Put your hand on the handle. Don't open it yet. Ask yourself one question. Not should I eat this? That's a guilt question. Ask, am I hungry or am I stressed? That's it. You don't have to walk away. You don't have to be strong. You just have to answer. If you're hungry, eat a real meal. On a plate. Sitting down. If you're stressed, close the fridge. Do the 5-minute reset. Then decide. Most of the time, after 5 minutes, you won't want the food. Because you weren't hungry. You were hijacked. And when the cortisol drops, the hijack ends. Part 7. Replace. Don't just stop. 11:30 rule 3. Replace the binge. Don't just stop it. Your brain needs something when you're stressed. If you take away food, you have to give it something else. A hot shower. A cold glass of water. A phone call to a friend. Pet your dog. 10 jumping jacks. Push against a wall. Scream into a pillow. Write down 3 things that went wrong today. Write down 3 things that went right. Anything. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to solve your stress. It just has to be not food. Because the goal isn't to eliminate stress. The goal is to break the connection between stress and eating. Every time you feel stressed and you don't eat, you weaken that connection. Every time you feel stressed and you eat, you strengthen it. Small wins. Over time. That's how you rewire your brain. Part 8. What happened to Rachel at 13 o'clock? Let me tell you what happened with Rachel. She started the 5-minute reset every night after work, before opening the fridge. The first week, she still ate some snacks, but less. About 400 calories instead of 700. The second week, half as much. About 300 calories per stress binge. The third week, she was down to 1 stress snack per week instead of 5. Within 2 months, she lost 3 kilograms. Without changing her meals. Without going to the gym more. Without hating herself. Just breathing for 5 minutes before eating. She told me, "Mike, I still have bad days. I still get stressed. My job is still hard. But I don't add guilt on top of everything else anymore. I just breathe. And then I decide." That's the goal. Not perfection. Just pausing. Part 9. The math of pausing. A 14 o'clock. One more piece of math. The good kind. If you replace 1 stress binge per week with a 5-minute reset and adjust one, you save 500 calories per week. That's 26,000 calories per year. That's 3.4 kilograms of fat loss per year. From 5 minutes of breathing. No diet. No gym. No shame. Just pausing. Now imagine you replaced a stress binges per week. That's 52,000 calories. Almost 7 kilograms. 3 stress binges per week. 78,000 calories. 10 kilograms. From 15 minutes of breathing per week. This is not magic. This is biology. Lower cortisol. Lower cravings. Less food. Less weight. Part 10. Your assignment. A 14:45. Here's your assignment for this week. Every time you're stressed before you eat, do 3 things. 1. Pause for 5 seconds. Just notice, I'm stressed. I'm about to eat. 2. Ask the question, am I hungry or am I stressed? 3. If stressed, do the 5-minute reset. Breathe. Drink water. Walk away. Call a friend. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to pause. Because the pause is where the power is. You didn't learn to eat when stressed overnight. You won't unlearn it overnight. But you can start tonight. Tonight, when you come home stressed, sit down for 5 minutes before you open the fridge. Just breathe. Then decide. Outro 15 o'clock. My name is Mike. This is Mike Feeds. Subscribe if you're done letting stress steal your progress. Next episode, how every social pressure destroys your diet. See you there.